You cut that short. I had like 46 seconds left, Joey.
Sorry, man. I wanted to get going. I'm excited about the NFL.
You're so excited for it. So
Exactly.
excited that you're going to put in 16 bets this week. Is that how excited you are?
Yeah, I'm just not going to bet, but yeah, I will have picks made at least.
All right. So welcome everyone. This is our road to 272, something that new that we're doing for this season. And hopefully hopefully it goes well enough we continue to do it in the future seasons also. Am I the only one drinking anything tonight?
I only got water.
Jeez,
I've been sipping gin and tonics for like 4 hours, so yeah.
Oh, good for you.
You're not the only one.
Nice. Good for you. We might get you talked into putting $100 per game on here.
No. I have a Vegas trip to pay for, so I can pay my own bets next week.
Perfect. Joey, before we get started, do you want to hit up the socials for us?
Yeah, if I can read them. As always, Twitter and Instagram at Heartland Pulse. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Pulse of the Heartland. And this will not be a live video, but you can always find this on our YouTube channel after the fact.
Yes. Yeah, listen to it on your podcast, whatever platform you guys use, and on YouTube, because as many views as possible, the better for us.
Right. Like and subscribe and tell your friends, baby.
That's right. All right. Well, we'll make this pretty quick, I think. We got 16 games. We got week 1 of the NFL season here. Like I said, road to 272. We're going to put down 272 bets this season. For me, I'm kind of keeping strict guidelines. For me, it's got to be money line or underdog money line, spread, or over under. You guys are okay to do whatever you want. I know Clark and Trent sent me their picks too, so I'll put theirs down too. Or I'll mention what they did for each game also. So starting off, we've got Thursday night game, which by the time this comes out, it will be tonight. I'll try to have this out Thursday morning. We got the Bills -2 against the Rams at LA. I'll start off on this one. This is actually one of the games I'm looking forward to most this week. I mean, you got a new NFL season and you're starting out with the defending Super Bowl champions and, arguably the best team in the AFC, one of the best teams in the AFC. So this is going to be a fantastic game just to start off the season. Right off the bat for me, I went with the Bills -2. Excuse me. Little hoarse after the workout that I had tonight, so bear with me. The reason I went with this, I'm going off of the 2021 stats. Obviously the Rams were the defending Super Bowl champions, so they're nothing to scoff at. But the Bills, they were first in opponents' yards and points per game. They had an amazing defense, and then third for points per game that they score themselves. So. The Rams, on the other hand, were 17th in opponents' yards per games, and they were 15th in most points per game scored. So the Bills are just looking better to me, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Better as of from last year, or
last year? Last year, yes. Nobody's played preseason, so
right.
So yeah, I think the Bills have an advantage here. We talked about this on our Monday podcast. I just don't think LA is a real home field advantage. I just don't. I don't think that's going to make a big difference. So yeah, Bills -2 for me. Start with Joey. What do you think?
So I am also going to pick the Bills. I decided for my bets, what I want to do instead of doing money lines or anything. I used to run a pick 'em pool every year, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick straight up winners and see what my record can be at the end of the year. So that said, I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. I agree with you. I think that they're just better than they were last year, and I think Josh Allen's set to have a great fucking year. In fact, I took him as my QB for this week in our league that Clark and Trent and I are in for Cubby's league. So yeah, I'm going to Bills.
The one that you usually have to pay Trent.
So fuck that. Last year I got in the league. No one told me that the quarterbacks don't count for rushing yards and running backs don't count for receiving yards. I didn't know that till like week 6, and then Trent finally tells me, and then he ends up beating me by like 30 points. So fuck him. He's already talking shit. I get a whole year to know what the rules are. I'm gonna win by like 150 points. So he can
suck. I like it. Bryant, what are you thinking this week or for game one?
Yeah, I got Buffalo at 2.5. The line's moved from the Rams being a 1-point favorite. It's already moved 3.5 points to them being 2.5. I mean, I can't really say much more. I think this is going to be Josh Allen's year where he's really going to show people what he's about here. So, I mean, basically winning by a field goal. I mean, really, there's not much of a difference. If you really wanted to be kind of a puss, you could just choose. Like in this one, Buffalo just straight up is minus 135 compared to taking the points of minus 110. So you're not really even losing much money. But I would say I'm just going to take the spread just to have it because.
Yeah, for me, when it's so small, it's like, okay, more than likely, I think they'll win by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do only win by 2, well, you get a push. So whatever, I guess.
Yeah,
that's
kind of that was one of the 4 that I actually put money on. I would say I want to kind of see how we start this year, and then maybe I'll start putting more in. But I had 4 $5 bets that I put in just to start. We're not going to unit shame either. I'm not. We're not millionaires here.
No, not at all. And we're not professionals or anything. This is something we're doing for fun. So
Yeah. So I would say I kind of agree though. Buffalo minus 2.5 right now.
We have I have Trent. He went with the Rams money line on this one.
Okay.
Nice.
And Clark also with the Rams.
Just straight up money line, so plus 110. All right. Yeah. I mean,
both of these guys will be money line. I think Clark said he's going to be looking more into spreads for next week and stuff like that. But just kind of doing this last minute, I think he went with money line on all of it.
Nice.
So, all right. Then we go to Sunday. We've got the Ravens -7 against the Jets. Over under is 44.5, excuse me. For me, that is a lot of points to put on week one, which I'm going to go against that later in the games, but that's just so many points. The Ravens, the Jets had an awesome draft this year. I think they're going to be improved, and you don't know what you're going to get from the Ravens. I mean, they're how many games they should have won last year, and they went for a 2-point conversion to lose the game. So I don't have enough confidence for them to lay the 7 points. So yeah, I'm going with the Jets +7. Brian, what are you thinking here?
I got Baltimore covering 7. Again, I know I love Breece Hall, and he should be, pretty decent in fantasy this year. But until I see the Jets not jet at this point, I'm just going to put Baltimore -7. I know Lamar Jackson's in his contract year, so there's going to be some of that. He set the deadline for Friday, so maybe I'm changing my bet by then. But yeah, I got Baltimore covering just until, Lamar gets his money, I suppose.
Yeah. Yep. Joey?
I think it's going to be close. I am the opposite of you. It would be as far as like no confidence in the Ravens. I mean, look at Jim Harbaugh last year. You're going out in the field and yelling at Lamar, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "Fucking go for it." And they went for it and got it. Like, I think the Jets are going to be good. I don't think they're going to be good week one. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. And if I were to bet that with the spread, I would say they cover as well.
Okay. We also have for Clark, he's got the Ravens money line. Also, Trent does too. So,
nice.
So I'm the outcast on this one.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. Someone's got to believe in the Jets. I have a fan base for this many fucking years. So
I'm not going to say I believe in them. I'm just Breece Hall's going to make up the 7 points.
There you go.
Just feeding the beast. It's 8 week.
All right, next game, Saints versus Falcons. Saints are -5.5 favorites, over under 42.5. Joey, I'm going to let you start this one since this is Falcons are your team.
Yeah, that's fine. I think, as I said in the Monday podcast, I think the Falcons split with the Saints, and I think it's going to be home and home. I think the Falcons get this one. I don't think Michael Thomas is still questionable, and he's going to play, they say, but who knows how hurt or how not hurt he is. We'll see what happens with them. I just think the Falcons are going to start out hot, get a bunch of hope up for everybody, and then just shit the bed later in the season. So I'm going to go Falcons week one on this.
Okay. I'm going Saints -5.5. I'm not going to go through all of the statistics from last year, but they led so many, almost all my different stats that I have: the points per game, the rush yards per game, pass yards per game. They just basically led in all those categories. And for me, it's until the Falcons show they're going to be better than last year. I can't really bet on them, I guess. Michael Thomas is back. That'll be a huge thing for the Saints, I think. Alvin Kamara is going to be there, so they don't have to worry about his suspension this year. Hopefully Jameis Winston will be healthy and play better. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints -5.5 there. Bryant.
I got Atlanta covering here. I think if they lose, it's only going to be by a field goal. Like you said, the biggest question marks are, first off, you have to hope that Jameis is what he was before the injury. Then the Saints, they've got a couple wide receivers, including Michael Thomas is living permanently on the IR on the injured reserve here. So yeah. I really don't have a lot of confidence in the Saints. They did pick up Honey Badger, but I think just with the Falcons, they're going to be a little more two-dimensional. Love Matt Ryan. I think he's going to do well with the Colts, but when people game plan against your quarterback's not going to be able to run, or even the threat of it, they can plan on the throwing. With Mariota, I think you get a little bit more, a little more mobility. Plus, I think the Falcons are going to be able to get another year with Kyle Pitts. He's 1 year, be able to put on some mass, be able to be better than what he was last year, and he was pretty decent. So I got Atlanta covering.
I just don't think Mariota is an improvement for Matt Ryan. That's kind of my big thing too.
I will agree with Bryant a little bit that I think he's an improvement for the Falcons team. If he went to any, say they both went to the Colts or something, or they both played on the Colts, Matt Ryan's a much better quarterback for the Colts because there's an offensive line that can protect him, and if he has time, he can hit receivers. Mariota will be a little bit better suited for the Falcons because he can get the mobility out of the pocket. We'll see if his accuracy is the way Matt Ryan's was, but I would have to say that I think Mariota's an upgrade because he's on the Falcons, if that makes sense.
I get it. Yeah. Yep. The other two both took the Saints money line also.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Yeah, again, Falcons right now are kind of like the Jets. Prove it to me until you see it. I think right now the Saints have just as many question marks as the Falcons.
Yeah, I actually think the Saints will be pretty close to winning that division. I don't think they will win that division, but I think they'll be close.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, so next I have Patriots and Dolphins. Dolphins -3.5. The over/under is 46.5. For me, I'm going to take the under 46.5. That's my first over/under bet tonight. It just sounds to me that the Patriots don't have a clue what they're doing on offense yet. They don't know who. Did they just announce Matt Patricia might be their offensive coordinator? So
really?
They didn't know who that would be until now, and I think they announced it. It may not be official. I don't know. But to me, this seems like beginning of the season, Bill Belichick's going to find a way to win, but it's going to be by defense. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored by New England. Miami, maybe they'll score a lot of points. Maybe Tyreek and Tua will just be the most dominant duo in the NFL, but they have to show me that. So I'm going to take the under 46.5. Joey.
Let me find my sheet. Sorry. I took Miami to win outright. I think that the swamp is going to take a toll on New England. It is hot as shit down there from everything that I've been hearing, like 104 with 105% humidity type shit. So going down there every year, the Patriots struggle no matter what time of year it is, and going down first game of the season with those type of conditions, not knowing who your offensive coordinator is, not set for sure on some of your offensive positions, I'm going to take Miami. I think they want to make a point right out of the bat, or right out of the gate. So, yeah, I think Miami covers and wins this one outright.
Bryant?
I got the over on this one. I just think with with the Dolphins. They just have a lot of offensive weapons. They just got Tyreek in the offseason. They got Waddle, who's now probable for a return here. They got Gillespie, however you pronounce the tight end. They've got a solid tight end. They do, this is really going to make or break if Tua is going to be the guy or not. And I think with being able to solidify, I mean, they've put all the pieces around him. I think he's going to be able to thrive. And I mean, you can never count out Belichick. So I mean, I don't think this is going to be Miami 35, Patriots 14. I think they're going to keep it close, but I think there's going to be a lot of offense in this game.
Even from New England, huh?
I think so. I mean, like I said, it's kind of one of those. This is more of a feeling one that Dolphins are going to Dolphin, Patriots are going to Patriot until I see something different. And yeah, I mean, the Dolphins have improved the last couple of years, but it's kind of like Bama. You can't count them out as long as Saban's there. I can't count out the Patriots as long as Bill Belichick's there.
Yeah. Yep. And Clark and Trent both have Miami money line there.
Okay.
Let's see what's their
Next, minus 3.5, or excuse me. I don't know what the odds are.
Minus 185. Oh, that makes sense.
Minus 185. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, Clark got it for minus 172.
Nice.
Next, Browns and Panthers, the revenge game for Baker Mayfield, if there is such a thing. I don't think there's such a thing, but we got the Panthers minus 2.5, over under 41.5. Last year Carolina started off super strong. What were they? 4-0, 5-0 right away. Just got super strong, and then injuries took their toll on them. And that was with Sam Darnold. I think a healthy Baker Mayfield is quite a bit better than Sam Darnold. Jacoby Brissett, he's all right. He's not a terrible quarterback by any means. I'm gonna take the Panthers minus 2.5. Christian McCaffrey's back. They've got a solid defense. They both have solid defenses, but let me look at the Panthers defense last year. Yeah, they were second, and they were second in opponents' yards per game. That didn't always translate to points per game, but they had a good defense. So I feel like this will be a good home game for them. Baker will get his first win there. That's what I'm going with. Bryant, we'll start with you.
I got Carolina covering. I think it's going to be sort of a revenge tour for Baker Mayfield. Bringing up Cleveland to what it is, and then they just dump them for a sexual assaulter. It's kind of shitty deal. But I'm looking at the stats from last year. Carolina's leading passer is Sam Darnold, and then the Cleveland's leading passer was, of course, Mayfield. I just, on this one, I don't see how the Browns get past them. I just think there's going to be too much. I mean, we've seen other than Baker when he played Georgia in the playoffs in college. I mean, he's usually been pretty consistent, especially in these types of games. So I don't know. I don't see Browns covering this one, especially with this whole offseason distractions. I think it's pretty good win for Baker here.
And the other question for me is, does Kareem Hunt want to be there too? Is he going to put in full effort? Because I know he had requested a trade at one point, and they denied that too.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, what do you think?
I'm going to make this my lock of the week. Carolina's going to win by 17 points. They are going to blow them the fuck out, and I think Baker stays in even if they're up huge in the fourth quarter just to run the score up on them. And couple that with Christian McCaffrey. I know they've got Myles Garrett on the other side, but that's one guy, and Cleveland can't control the ball that often or that much if the other team's moving it. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Panthers win big in this one. That's my lock of the week.
I love the lock of the week there. I love it. And the other guys, they have Carolina money line. So nice. I feel like that's one of those. The spread to me is a little small. But
yeah,
what would you say? What's 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the crazy thing is they always say, add 3, home field advantage gives you 3. So you're telling me on a neutral field that the Browns are favored? I just I don't know. Right. I have a hard time on that one. Next, we have the Steelers and Bengals, the defending AFC champions, Cincinnati Bengals. They're favored by 6.5, and over under is 44.5. This is, the Bengals, to me, they got better this year. They got a better offensive line. They were your AFC champions. They're a great team. They have one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not. How is Trubisky going to do? I don't have a clue how he's going to do. Should he even be the starter? Is the question. And then they all, they have arguably the best defensive player in the league in Watt, but their defense wasn't that great. 24th in total opponents yards per game, 19th in opponents points per game. So their defense isn't that great, other than they have one big name person. I'm going with Cincinnati, minus 6.5. Bryant, go ahead.
I took the under on this one, under 44.5. I just think with Pittsburgh, you got questions at quarterback. Honestly, you got questions at running back. I mean, it seems like that whoever they start every year is always gets injured. I'm not really sold on Najee Harris just yet. You lost
he get hurt?
To the Chiefs. What's that?
Did Harris get hurt?
That I'll be honest, I'm not sure. It would kind of speak to my point if he was injured right now. Looks like the only ones that are questionable right now are Deontay Johnson is questionable for Pittsburgh, and then T. Higgins is questionable for Burrow.
Okay.
I just think with a questionable Pittsburgh offense right now, I think everyone, now that if T. Higgins is going to be out for this game, they're going to hone in on Jamar Chase, the basically bailout for Burrow. I think it's just going to be a low-scoring game. I still think Bengals win, but I think it's going to be lower scoring because I just think the Steelers aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, Najee had a sprain. It sprained his ankle, but he should be ready to go for game time. Joey, what do you got there?
I think that the Steelers are going to be a good team towards the end of the year. I think they need to figure out what they're going to do exactly with quarterback. I have full faith in Najee Harris, and then that defense is always stout. But I don't think that they've got it figured out yet with the quarterback situation. So I'm going to pick the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to be good this year. I think they had a little bit of magic in their pocket last year. But I do think they're still going to be good. I don't know if they're going to be making the Super Bowl good. I think they make the playoffs. I think they win this division pretty handedly. I'm going to go with the Bengals winning this week 1.
Yeah, and the other guys got Bengals money line too. And I said on Monday too, I think there was some lightning in the bottle for Cincinnati there, but I don't see how they've regressed to where they're not going to easily beat Pittsburgh in week 1.
Right.
So the next one, 49ers versus Bears. 49ers are -7. Over under is 41.5. This is where I said earlier that I'm going against the big point spread. I've got to take the 49ers. My big question mark is Trey Lance, but their defense is amazing. If Trey Lance can play well, I think they're going to be a tough team all season. The Bears on paper just look like garbage. They just absolutely look like trash. They were trash last year. They lost Khalil Mack on defense. They got Roquan Smith still, but again, he wanted to be traded too. They didn't grant that either. Ryan Poles went in and pretty much emptied out their roster to kind of try to make some cap space and start over. I'm going to take the big spread here at -7. Joey, go ahead.
So, yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said, and I just don't think the Bears are going to be very good. I do believe, unlike a lot of people, in Justin Fields. I just think their offensive line is fucking atrocious. So, yeah, I don't like the Bears winning many games this year. David Montgomery's still there, correct, Bryant?
Yep,
I believe so.
Honorary captain for week 1 too.
That's right. Cool. I like David Montgomery. I like the Bears running game. I just really think that they're not going to win this one. And a lot of people have the Niners as a sneaky Super Bowl pick. I think that defense is fucking amazing. And then if they can do anything they did with Deebo Samuel and George Kittle on the, as their receivers and stuff, and replace Morstead, and Trey Lance shows any kind of promise, man, I think the Niners can be a very dangerous team in that NFC West.
Kittle's injured too.
Yeah, well, it happens. When you go that hard in practice, you get hurt.
When you have that many pancake blocks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bryant.
Woof. Yeah, I have the under 41. I know that's even a pretty damn low under. But again, you have Kittle that's questionable. I'm looking at they got Byron Pringle for the Bears that's questionable. He's probably one of even their better receivers. Tajay Sharp is out for the season for the Bears. I don't think he was going to be much of an impact anyway. I have no trust in Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL.
I'm right there with you.
I don't really have any confidence in Trey Lance or Jimmy G either. If you want to check down and do everything else, that's fine. Like we said, the Niners defense is going to hold the Bears to probably 0 or 3 points. Niners, I don't have the confidence they're going to score 35 points either. So I think that one I'm just going to go with the under 41.
Their defense could score more points than Iowa's defense did last week.
1 touchdown. That's all it'll take.
Yep. The other guys also took 49ers money line. But I'm with you there, Brian. Ohio State quarterbacks just don't do it for me. They just don't. I don't have faith in them.
I mean, they have the talent around them in college, but I mean, just stats from the past have proven that there hasn't been a consistent, at least winning in the NFL. There's some of them that have gone out and had some stats, but it's just that how many of them have had very memorable college careers, and then you don't hear anything from them in the NFL.
Do you think C.J. Stroud can break that?
Well, yeah, when he goes to Atlanta, of course he can.
True.
They've
got rid of that.
If my team was in need of a quarterback, I would pray any other school than Ohio State for a pro. You're just why not just throw away 5 years of our franchise at this point?
They traded a couple. They traded a couple big picks to get him too, didn't they? Just like they did Trubisky.
Yep. And the Bears have been known to really have great quarterback evaluations. So, I mean, I think this is going to be the one that breaks the trend here.
It's got to be the one. All right. Next game, the Eagles versus the Lions. The Eagles are 4-point favorites. Over-under is 48.5. This one to me, it's not my lock of the week. It's damn close, though. It's one of my top favorites. This Hard Knocks hype needs to stop. They're saying that the Lions are going to be better than the Vikings this year, possibly make the playoffs. You showed against the Eagles here. The Eagles, I've got the Eagles covering at 4. The Eagles had a top 10 defense last year. They were number 1 running. The Lions were not good. They just weren't. They were close in a lot of games. Had a lot of backdoor covers last year, but I'm taking the Eagles -4. Show me that because you are on Hard Knocks that you're going to be a playoff contender this year.
Yeah.
Bryant, go ahead.
I got to agree with that. I mean, how often are we seeing the Patriots or the Chiefs or the Packers that are on Hard Knocks? None, because they're good teams. Yeah. So, I mean, with these two, I know Philadelphia is going to be improved. I mean, they got rid of that the receiver that they just sent to the Vikings. Not that was going to make a huge difference.
No, Arizona.
I'm choosing the under for 48.5.
Sorry, Jalen Reagor. You're right, Jalen Reagor to the Vikings. Didn't they send someone to Arizona during the draft too?
Potentially. I'm not off the top of my head. I'm not sure, but I mean, again, for Philadelphia, you got Jalen Hurts. That's about your main target. I'm looking at it right now. Their running back Sanders is questionable right now. I know a lot of these questionables mean they're probably going to play. It's just they're not at 100% right now. But I think not only with that offense that I'm not feeling too confident in with Philadelphia, on top of it's the Lions, and you're relying on Jared Goff to be able to create enough pressure to get enough pressure off of DeAndre Swift to do anything in the backfield. I know they got a St. Brown, who's pretty decent receiver for them. I don't see the Lions doing much, and I don't see I think Philly still wins, but I think it's just going to be under 48.5.
And that was from the Ravens. They got a wide receiver. I was wrong on that one. But yeah, that was Jalen Reagor. They did send to the Vikings. Joey, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I agree with you. Get rid of this fucking Hard Knocks hate. Hard Knocks hype. This is stupid. I think that the Eagles had maybe the second best draft behind the Jets. I think their team really improved. You've got Devonta Smith. Jalen Hurts sounds like he's locked and ready to go from every report coming out of camp that he is going through his progressions and stuff, and he's getting rated really high by an outside auditing source, I guess, or something that they have going on. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles, and I think the Eagles actually win big in this one. I don't. I know that the Lions look good on Hard Knocks and shit. I don't know if I trust them. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Eagles, and I think I'm going to go big.
All right. The other guys had Eagles money line also. And that, again, feels like one of those that it seems small. If you would have put me to -7, then I would have thought harder on it. But -4, to me, it's pretty easy to take that one.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we've got the Colts and the Texans. Colts are 7-point favorites. Over-under is 46. This one's another big one that's tough for me. 7 points is a lot. I do believe the Colts were good last year, and I think they got better with Matt Ryan. Carson Wentz, he's not a terrible quarterback by any means, but he'll try to make a hero play and throw an interception, no problem. I think Matt Ryan made the Colts a lot better. I'm going to take the big spread. I'm going to take the -7. I don't love taking it. Again, the Texans, I need to see that. I don't even know who their quarterback is. Is it Dougie Mills? Dougie Mills is their quarterback, I think. Davey Mills. I got Dougie Mills because they were calling him that on Pat McAfee because they couldn't remember his name too. The Texans just need to show me that they're a team that can actually compete with these playoff contenders, possible Super Bowl contenders. I think the Colts are going to be a Super Bowl contender this year in the AFC. I truly do. So yeah, I'm going to go with Colts -7. Bryant?
I got Houston. Is it 7 or what? What's the latest? Because when I made my picks, I had Houston at 8. At 7. I'm still getting Houston covering the 7 there. Right now, with it being a division game, I don't think. I guess, sorry, Joey, I don't think Matt Ryan's going to be that much of an improvement over Carson Wentz was last year for him. I mean, they have Jonathan Taylor that they're going to hone in on, but it's really going to depend, I guess, on this defense. I think Houston's going to keep it close. A couple things as well, like I mentioned, it is a division game, so they're going to be coming to play. Frank Reich 0-4 in Week 1 the last 4 years, so. I think Houston might even pull out the upset here, but I think Houston at least covers 7.
Okay. Joey?
Yeah, I got the Colts winning outright. I disagree with you. I think Matt Ryan, with that offensive line, is going to show people that he's still got game inside of him. I think that they are going to be a very good team. I think they win that division very handily this year and make the playoffs. I don't think they can compete game in and game out with like the AFC West teams, but I think they could surprise some people come playoff time. So yeah, I'm gonna go Colts, and I think I'm gonna go Colts big on that one as well.
I like it. The other guys took the Colts money line also. I apologize. Rivers making his appearance now, and he won't even let me scroll up and down my computer.
Well, while you're taking a little break and figuring out what the next game is, I did start a pick'em pool since we aren't doing a fantasy league or anything this year. So if anyone wants to join our pick'em pool, we'll decide what the prizes will be later. But just search on the ESPN Pigskin Pick'em, search Pulse of the Heartland, and join our group. It's just going to be standard. Pick the games, no spreads or anything, and then person with the most wins at the end of the year, we'll go ahead and try and decide a prize for you. Hopefully year 2 we can do, if we start making some money or something, do a little bit bigger prizes. But yeah, I also put the link in our Twitter and Facebook pages. So go ahead and click on those and get those in. I know it's last minute and everything, but try and get those in by tomorrow night. If not, if you lose one game and 1 point separates everything, let me know and I can probably try and make that up to you at the end of the year. So we'll go that way.
Tell them this: if one game separates them, maybe they should have picked better. How about that?
I'm going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yes.
Thanks, Joey.
Yep.
All right. So next game I've got Jaguars and Commanders. Commanders -2.5 point favorites. Over under is 43.5. This is my least favorite game of the week. Hate this game. To me, it's pick pick what turd you think is going to be the best for the week. I don't know what Doug Peterson is going to do with Jacksonville. I imagine it's got to be better than what Urban Meyer did. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to look like though. The Commanders are only two seasons away from almost beating the Buccaneers in the playoffs with Taylor Heineke. They got Carson Wentz. I think he'll be an improvement over Taylor Heineke. How much of one, I don't know. I think their defense is going to be very solid this year. They get Chase Young back. He's back from injury. There's rumor that he might be a little hurt again, but that got shot down by Washington. So I'm gonna say the Commanders are the prettier turd and go with them at -2.5.
Nice.
Just because of defense.
The prettier turd. I like that.
Yeah. Bryant, go ahead.
Give me a pull up here. I got a Washington 2.5, covering the 2.5 point spread. They just locked down McLaurin. I would say they do have Carson Wentz, which unfortunately is a bit of an improvement on who they had last year. As long as they don't have any major, injuries on that defense, they still got some pretty solid ends there. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, we didn't. I didn't see anything that really impressed me much last year. They do have Etienne back, but I don't see Jacksonville doing anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Joey, what's your thoughts?
I'm going completely opposite of you guys. I think the shinier turd is Jacksonville. I think they had a pretty damn good defense last year, and I think Urban Meyer just let that firestorm just get out of hand. So I'm going to go Jacksonville in this one, and I also think Jacksonville might win like 7 or 8 games this year. I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be good, and I think ETN back is going to be a big boost to that offense. So give me a good defense with a getting better offense, and yeah, I think Jacksonville will be decent this year.
Okay, I respect that.
I don't trust the guy that lost millions of dollars to crypto and just thinks everything's fine. That just screams to me terrible decision making. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Also, he lost me my college fantasy football league a few years ago with how terrible he played that year. So I'm not going to hold a grudge against him.
Homer Bryant with the grudges. I love it. Good shit.
Mm-hmm. And it's what someone I would never expect either.
Right.
Betting with the hate in my heart. That's all I'm doing over here.
Because like I said in our text group, if you've got hate, let it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The other guys, they both took Washington money line. So
have they?
So we got Joey
upset yet?
What's that?
Trent said that he was different on one from Clark, so we'll see. Yes, they do have an upset, and that's coming up here soon.
Let me guess. Vikings plus 100.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Next game is Raiders and Chargers. Chargers -3.5, and over under is 52.5. I am taking the over on this one. Both of their defenses were not good last year. I'm assuming the Chargers will improve, but they were 29th and 25th in opponents' points per game last year. The Chargers were 5th in points per game scored, and the Raiders weren't so great, but they got Devontae Adams. I think they'll be better this year. I think that's going to be shootout. I'm going to go over 52.5. Bryant.
I got Chargers covering again. Until I see the Raiders not Raider, I'm going to go with what I know is solid, and Herbert is the real deal. He's got 2 $20 million receivers. Loved Keenan Allen for quite a few years. He's been legit. They got Mike Williams. I just until I see until I see the Raiders do something, I think the Chargers cover this one pretty easy. This is actually one of the 4 bets that I put in as a for sure winning for me.
I was going to go, wow, an AFC West team. Oh, they're both AFC West, so that you have to choose from. So, Joey.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. I have them picked to win the Super Bowl. I think they start the season off right. I love Justin Herbert and that whole offense. And then you have a Bosa on defense, and the rest of their defense is pretty solid. So, yep, I'm going to go to Chargers on this one.
All right, and they both have the Chargers money line. All right. Bryant, your game. Chiefs and Cardinals. Chiefs. I found the Chiefs at -3.5, being the favorites at an over under 53.5. Bryant, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. That line's actually already moved. I wish I would have put it in earlier in the week because it has moved from 3.5. Now it's all the way up to 5.5 right now. I think I got it actually at 6 when I put in the bet, and I'm still taking the Chiefs. I just think with it trending that direction, Chiefs have too much speed. One guy has a ring and one guy has to have a Call of Duty clause in his contract. I think the guy that has the ring is going to be able to outplay that one. One also still has to have use a booster seat in his car too. So
that's funny. That's really funny. Joey, go ahead. I'm looking at something here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just too fucking good, and they're gonna start the season out well. And I think they also kind of have a little chip on their shoulder from all the Tyreek shitty talk. So yeah, just give me the Chiefs, and I also think they load this one up and win it big. So yeah, Chiefs.
Those guys also took the Chiefs money line. I'm going to opposite. I got the Cardinals at +6. I hate doing it because I don't think there's a team that I crap on more than the Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury. And I don't think there's a quarterback that I like more than Patrick Mahomes besides Kirk Cousins. So I hate taking it. But the Cardinals always start off hot during the beginning of the year. 6 points to me is a lot between these two. Looking at the stats from last year, Chiefs scored 2 points more per game than the Cardinals, but points allowed per game, Chiefs were at 21.4 and Cardinals were at 21.5. They're so close to each other. The other thing is how is Mahomes going to be with new receivers? I think he's going to be great, but I need to see that first. So just going off the stats, I had to take the +6. Call of Duty isn't out yet. The beta hasn't came out yet. I think Kyler is probably going to take the first couple weeks to try to prove that he's not a mediocre quarterback. And then once Modern Warfare comes out, that's going to change. But I got them at +6. I took the +6.
Yeah, player base has fallen off of Vanguard. Warzone isn't what it used to be with Verdansk. I agree. I think he's actually a little focused on football. I just don't think it's going to be enough for the Chiefs. They've improved quite a bit this offseason.
He's a little focused on football. I love it. God,
he's done his 4 hours of studying a week, Joey. He's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm never going to be able to get over a fact that the Cardinals gave how much guaranteed money to a guy and they go, okay, and you have to do your homework, and they act like it's not a big deal. And he has quotes in the past going, I'm not going to break my back studying film. Are you fucking kidding me, man? I don't trust him.
It was what Barrett from Ohio State. I didn't come here to play school. I came here to play football.
Yeah.
that type of situation there.
Oh, yeah.
He went to school because he didn't want to play baseball. So we know he's an athlete. I think Mahomes, Murray, I got to go Mahomes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I got to take, if it was the 3.5 that I had listed, it might've been different, but +6 to me was quite a bit of points.
Yeah. That is quite a bit, especially week 1. So
yeah. Next is Packers Vikings. The Packers are 1.5 point favorites. Over under is 47. This I took the Vikings money line for me. It's not looking good for Allen Lazard. He missed practice today. Apparently somebody stepped on him and he got hurt last week. I think the Packers might be getting Bakhtiari back for their left tackle, but he's kind of questionable too. How good is he going to be against Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter? That's a tough ask if that's your first week back from surgery. This isn't the same Vikings team as last year. I mean, last year they could have been super successful if they didn't go into prevent defense every 2 minutes, every last 2 minutes of a quarter or of a half. It's weird. It's weird waking up in the morning and seeing tweets about this person's predicting Kirk Cousins to be MVP. Usually it's the complete opposite where everyone's just shitting on him. And this year there's attention that, hey, this Vikings team might be legit. I'm taking the Vikings money line.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. I just think, one, rather than covering the spread, you're going to get a little extra money with +100 there. Not huge compared to -110, but I think if this was in Green Bay, I don't know if that would push me to the edge. Just being at home, first week, you've had a solid off season. Packers, like you said, right now, even if Lazard was back, with him being your number one receiver, that's going to be a tough sell. I know he's solid, but number one is kind of questionable. Minnesota, I think they just have all the momentum. Aaron's had a lot of off season, not issues, just distractions. But it's still Rodgers. I just think the Vikings squeak this one out week 1.
Yeah, Joey.
I have this also very close, and I'm going to go against you two and go with the Packers winning.
You're dead to me.
It happens. That's fine. I believe you picked the Saints as well, so that's fine. I think that this is going to be 2 very good games between both these teams this whole season, and I think that that's going to decide the division pretty handily. So I'm going to go with the Packers. I think that there's just too much with Rodgers having to prove people wrong and prove that he still has it and shit. That until Mahomes was in the league, I didn't see a quarterback play that position as well as he has in the whole entire history of the league. So I really like Rodgers. I'm going to go with the Packers close in this one.
Yeah, I mean, with the spread that close as well, I mean, Packers money line right now is -120. If they cover 1.5, it's 110. You might as well just, instead of risking the 1 point, loss by the Vikings, you might as well just take slightly less and just take the money line for Packers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those guys, that is their first underdog money line winner also for both of them. All right, next, Giants versus Titans. Titans are there it is. Titans are 6-point favorites. Over under is 43.5. This is my wing and a prayer one. I took the Giants +6. I have no reasoning for it. Tennessee should be the better team, especially with Derrick Henry. I'm looking forward to seeing what New York what Brian Dabble does with New York. I think he can probably turn them around if anyone can. I'm going +6. Like I said, there is no reasoning. That is just a gut feeling thing. Joey.
Yeah, this is more of a turd polishing than the other game that we had. I know the Titans are really good, and I'm going with them. I don't like Ryan Tannehill, and I would not be surprised if Malik Willis starts halfway through the season. He looked amazing in preseason. So, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, especially if they only need someone to hand the ball off and run a few plays and then throw the ball downfield, which Tannehill can't fucking do. I think Malik Willis comes in later in the season. But just for this game, I'm going to go with the Titans.
Okay.
Joey, did you know that Ryan Tannehill used to play wide receiver in college?
Oh, that's the first I've ever heard that in my whole entire life. That is crazy.
Every single week you hear that. When your quarterback's most interesting stat is not like, hey, in high school he threw for 10,000 yards and 100 touchdowns. The most interesting thing is he didn't play this position his whole life. Yeah, I mean, and he shows it. But one, good for him. He got his bag. Tennessee needed a solution. He was he band-aided it for the time being. I agree with you. I think Malik, with what we saw in the preseason a bit, I mean, it wouldn't shock me, and especially the attitude of him going. And I agree with, my job isn't to mentor him, but it's kind of a shitty attitude. And I think also when you saw in the preseason, you saw what Malik could do. It's like, well, he doesn't need your help, Ryan, and he probably was a better wide receiver in college too. But I got the Giants covering this one. Not only just I don't trust Tannehill, they're gonna hone in on Derrick Henry and say if they hone in on him, who is Tannehill gonna throw to? They got rid of AJ Brown. Can either of you name any receiver on the Titans right now?
Derrick Henry.
There we go. Technically, he can throw to him. So I don't know. I think the Titans have a better shot if they just put down 10 linemen and snapped it directly to Derrick Henry. But I don't know. I just same thing, Ryan. There's not really no rhyme or reason. I just don't trust Ryan Tannehill, and I think this is where finally we've shit on Daniel Jones enough where we're finally gonna see him come through.
Yeah.
So no faith in the Saquon Barkley me against the world shit from this or was it "fuck everybody" or what? What was his quote? And it was something like that, and just he doesn't care about anyone else anymore. Doesn't care if people think he's going to run people over. So his redemption tour starts week 1.
Remind him not to get injured because he's on my fantasy team, and that was all the good. I like the idea of fuck everyone, and I'm going to go out and run hard. Let's just stay healthy for a full season here.
Yeah, I agree. But he just look over on the other sideline and be like, "That's the running back I want to be with Derrick
Yeah,
Henry."
That's what it looks like when I don't get injured week 2 and I limp the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
exactly.
And a big surprise, those two went with the Titans money line. So
glad I was sitting down for that one.
All right, we're going to the Sunday night game. Buccaneers and Cowboys. Buccaneers are 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 51. For me, I said it all last year. Never bet against Tom Brady. Tom Brady is now having apparently marital issues, so he's going to be even more pissed off and looking to kick ass. I don't have to say much. I don't think the Cowboys got any better this year. I think they may have gotten worse. They don't have Amari Cooper this year. I'm taking the 2.5. I think this one to me was one of my easier selections.
I wish that would have been one of my 4 that I had. I'm actually getting logged into Caesars to put that in. I actually, when I was doing these bets, I had it at Tampa Bay 1.5 points, which I thought was insanely low, but 2.5, yeah. I'm still going to take them. Again, it's Tom Brady versus Dak Prescott. I think what we've seen from the Cowboys, I think they're still going to be solid. I don't know where their line is at. I know you have Tom Brady on one side. Again, until Cowboys don't cowboy, I think I got to pick the Bucks in this one to cover. Yeah. Sorry, not just money line.
Yeah. Joey?
If either of these teams got worse this year, it was the Bucks with losing Gronk, and then also they lost an offensive lineman, I believe. But they're still going to beat the shit out of the Cowboys. The Cowboys just aren't a very good team. I don't think, even though they led the NFL in offense last year, I think the Bucks are just too much for them to handle.
Yeah. We had a split on here, guys.
What?
We had a split.
Oh boy. Trent had Bucks, Clark had Cowboys. I'm calling it.
You got it.
I know these two like the back of my hand.
Yep, you got it. So one of them is going to be wrong, or one's going to be wrong, and 4 wrong, or 4 and 4 right, or the other way around. We'll see.
At least we're going to have a distinction after week 1 on where we're standing. It's just not those two tied at the same 8 and 8 or whatever.
Yep. And then we go to the Monday night game. We got the Broncos versus Seahawks. Broncos -6.5, over under 44.5. All I have wrote down here is let's ride. We're going with the Broncos. I don't see Geno Smith. Russell Wilson is always going to be a top 10 quarterback, I think, up until he's 40 years old. Geno Smith and Drew Lock, not so much. I don't know what the Seahawks have for them that they're not put as like a 10-point at disadvantage. I have no clue, but I'm going with the Broncos -6.5.
Mm-hmm. I have Broncos 6.5 as well. That was one of the 4 bets, well now 5 that I actually put in for this week. Again, it's Russell Wilson versus question mark at quarterback, because I know Geno's going to be the starter, but you have a first round in Drew Lock. Now, what Seattle does have going for them, if they do get behind, I mean, one of those quarterbacks can chuck it up, and you got Metcalf that can run downfield. You got Lockett that's very solid. I'd say the when you're starting running backs, Rashad Penny, I'm not too confident in that. Their defense, I couldn't name one person. You know how far they've fallen since the Legion of Boom. I think Denver again with Russell there is the big thing that pushes them over the edge.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, I have nothing more to add other than what you guys already talked about with the Broncos, and that's my fault for not switching that over. I think the Broncos win. It's all Russell Wilson in this one. So
yeah, and those guys both had Broncos money line. So, all right, that ends our slate for week 1. Looking forward to doing this each and every week. It'll probably be about the same time. I'm thinking probably get this released Thursday morning for everyone. Don't forget to tune into Bryant and I guess anyone who can join their college football Thursday pods.
Mhm.
And I'm excited this week. Starting out with an awesome game. Have an awesome game personally with the Vikings Packers. I'm excited.
We'll actually be doing the live YouTube tomorrow during that game, so that should actually be pretty fun. Doing some college picks and actually watching some solid NFL too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be at my golf league playoffs, so I'll be dreaming of watching football, I guess.
Well, good luck, buddy.
Thanks. Well, thanks, guys. I will be with you tomorrow or Thursday, whenever. So we'll do this all again Monday for some Monday Night Football.
Nice. Are we going to do this road to 272 every Wednesday, you think?
I'm planning on it. That just works best for my schedule. Hopefully that works okay with you guys. I know we're kind of doing a lot this year, so whatever anyone can make, awesome. If not, no
that
big
works. I just asked for the listeners just in case they, if we get a whole bunch of comments saying, "Hey, please do it live," so we can get our picks in. We can do that too.
Yeah, Wednesday nights we'll be recording.
Cool.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Adios.